I'm going to talk to you about some things I've learned in my journey. Most from experience, some of them I heard in passing, many of them I'm still practicing, but all of them I do believe are true. Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it.
If the success of a doctor is to be measured by how long his patients live, then I'm a failure because my patients die very young, relatively speaking. They die of HIV, they die of hepatitis C, they die of infections of their heart valves, they die of infections of their brains, of their spine, of their hearts, of their bloodstream. They die of suicide, of overdose, of violence, of accidental deaths. And if you look at them, you call to mind the words of the great Egyptian novelist Naguib Mahfouz, who wrote, "Nothing records the effects of a sad life as graphically as the human body," because these people lose everything. They lose their health, they lose their beauty, they lose their teeth, they lose their wealth, they lose human relationship, and in the end, they often lose their lives. And yet nothing shakes them from their addiction. Nothing can force them to give up their addiction. The addictions are powerful. And the question is why? And as one of my patients said to me, "I'm not afraid of dying," he said, "I'm more afraid of living."
And if you look at the homeless population, around a third of the people statistically have an acute problem with alcohol or drugs, and 2/3 of the people have lifetime history. So it's either acute or chronic. And you add to that those with mental illness, you really have a population that needs help and treatment, not enablement. That's why you go to treatment, particularly dual diagnosis treatment. You deal with both simultaneously. You deal with the addiction and you deal with the psychological triggers that are likely to restart the addiction when you get back out. And I think these are not these 28-day, one size fits all rehabs. Most of the people that I've dealt with over the last 20 years of doing Dr. Phil oftentimes leave the city where they're practicing addicts and never go back to that city because that's where all their triggers are, that's where all their dealers are, that's where all the relationships are. They're often in treatment for 120 days or 180 days. Then they go to sober living for 6 or 8 months, and then a halfway house where they're working full time but living in a supportive environment.
Right now, poverty and immigration is an industry.
You think somebody's profiting off of this?
Oh, there's a lot of people. What I used to do with volunteer work, and you get a free meal. Maybe they'll give you some gloves or something. Now these people who work in the centers are getting paid what used to be volunteer jobs. And even the volunteers are there because they want to get first pick at all the donations. The government doesn't care about houses price going up because the higher the price, the more tax they get. Our everything, our system is overloaded.
But Canadians know we need to fight climate change And we need to be supporting people with more money in their pockets. That's what the federal backstop does. That's what the Canada Carbon Rebate that's landing in people's bank accounts as of April 15th is going to help them with. And that's a Canada Carbon Rebate, money in people's pockets that conservative politicians want to take away.